Hey everyone, this is Chansky and I am bringing you finally a audio commentary on StarCraft 2. And I know it's been months and months since I've done one of these things because I've been away from the game, and as some of you know, I've been playing some WoW and making WoW videos instead. But I think I appreciate those more than anybody else does. But hey, I do it for myself. So I am back for at least this commentary though. This is a game that one of my friends sent me. He's Abusive. He is the blue Zerg up in the 12 o'clock position on, I think this map is called Orbital Command, right? It's one of the older maps. I don't remember what it's called. His opponent is the red Terran, Gloomshroom, and he is in the 3 o'clock position. And it looks like Abusive, he sent this to me. He handpicked this and he sent it over by email, and I'm going to do a commentary on it because he is recently became Diamond rank 1 in his division, and in order to commemorate that, I agreed to do commentary on a couple of his games. Now, since he picked this one out, I hope he didn't just pick one where he raffle stomps his opponent, because that would just be really boring. But we'll see what happens here. On another note, I bought, or registered I should say, the full version of Fraps, so I no longer have to press record every 30 seconds. That was really terrible. And I could just focus on doing my commentary and not having to watch the little red number up on the top left of the screen. So no more 30-second stutter. Thank God. It looks like Gloomshroom, Terran player red, is going around Abusive's base. He knows that no buildings have been built, so he's going to check the expansion naturally. And of course, there is a quick expansion. Abusive went for a quick expand. He did not go for a pool. Well, he went for a pool second. Let me pull up the production screen so I don't miss anything. Bunker is being queued, and bunker is being built. One of the changes recently, and I say recently because I haven't played for 2 patches, one of the changes is that bunkers now take longer to build, which I completely agree with. They were super OP against mostly Zerg, I think. I don't know too much about the Zerg Terran matchup, but Abusive did a really good job destroying that SCV before it could complete the bunker. Now, I want to see what Gloomshroom's response is going to be. He's going to immediately send those 2 Marines. And the other change, or 1 Marine I should say, the other change is that you now need a supply depot in order to make a barracks. That slows down Terran's infantry rush. It slows down the possibility of a Reaper rush. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. I felt that Reaper rushes were retarded. And excuse me if you don't like that word, but seriously, they were dumb. Because if you could not scout a Terran, which is often the case when a Terran blocks, you can't scout him, he's got a Marine to kill your scout, and he blocks the base so you can't get in. If you do not have a way to scout a Terran's base, and he comes with Reapers when he should be coming with Marines instead, and he just has mass Reapers, unless you know that's coming, unless you're completely ready for mass speed Reapers, you're screwed. There's nothing really you can do. It's almost like the luck of the draw. So they slowed that down a bit. They also made it so that you need a factory to research Reaper speed, I believe. So Reapers are almost useless. I'm not going to say they are, but because I still believe that they're very, very good, especially against building harass at any point in the game. The other person doesn't have his army ready to defend. So I think that Reapers are still extremely useful. Abusive has built his extractor on Gloomshroom's refinery spot, and so that second refinery is coming down a bit late. That's very, very good because Abusive has planned to do this quick expand, and he really needs to delay Gloomshroom's tech. The other counter to a quick expand is to rush, but Terran rush is kind of slow right now. So he probably would not have had too many Marines to take out Abusive's army. Instead, what he's going to do is going to take 3 Hellions, and he's probably going to push out. This is a very good build. I like this build a lot. You got the 1 supply depot, and then you got the 2 big buffer buildings that you can still lift off just in case. He should really pop that supply depot back up. But those 3 Hellions are moving out. I don't think they have speed or damage upgrades on them. No, they don't. But they're moving out, and they're going to try to do some drone damage, and that's a very good move by Gloomshroom, because he knows that quick expand by Zerg is vulnerable to Hellions, and Abusive apparently also knows, and he also knows that Queens are good against the Hellions. I mean, what else would an early Zerg do? Zerglings would just die. I guess you could have gone Roaches, but that would mean that he would have to get more than just that 1 gas. And so in order to focus on minerals, Abusive has decided to make 3 Queens, and like any good Zerg player, he has his creep tumors, or cancer tumors, I like to call them. I'm sorry if that's offensive to anybody else. But more Hellions have arrived. There are 5. Abusive has positioned his Queen at the choke, but that wasn't enough. And so now he needs to chase those Hellions all over the place. But those Hellions took massive losses at the hands of those Queens running up that ramp, and now his attack really has failed. He's lost 5 Hellions and maybe killed 2 drones. He lost his Banshee to that Spore Crawler, and that's just poor micro by Gloomshroom. And now Gloomshroom is going to be in a hell of a lot of trouble because he failed to take advantage of that window of opportunity that Abusive put up right there. When he quick expanded, that Terran player had a couple of minutes to do something about that expansion. Make Abusive pay for expanding, trying to get more minerals at the end of the game. No, I'm gonna make you pay, and he didn't make him pay. Abusive did a very good job of pushing away that initial attempt, and carelessly, the Terran player lost his Banshee to that Queen, and I don't even think that Queen was being micro. That Queen was just sitting there and decided to attack because those 2 Spore Crawlers could see the Banshee. That's a very smart play. I'm not sure what else Gloomshroom could have done against this build, which is basically 3 or 4 Queens, and there's a scan by the Terran player, 3 or 4 Queens, a single Extractor, Evolution Chamber, and many Mineral Miners in order to put up these Spore Crawlers. So that's good defense against Hellions. It's good defense against Banshees that are even cloaked. So it looks like an armory is being dropped by Gloom. He's probably going to go Thors. Thors are very good against Zerg, especially later in the game, especially early in the game. That Banshee is going to try to hide on top of this cliff so that Abusive doesn't wander across and see it firing at this thing, but of course he can still notice that this thing is doing damage. You can still hear these random explosions. It looks like Gloomshroom has another pack of 4 Hellions ready to exert some kind of pressure just in case these Queens move out of position. They just got moved out of position. He should move these Hellions now. Instead, he moved them back. I don't know why, and he ended up losing one of those Banshees before it could go into Cloak. And that was very poor micro by Gloomshroom indeed. But Gloomshroom will have a Thor out very soon, if not already, and in position to make an assault. And I think this is what he should have done in the first place. He might have been a little bit slow. He built a lot of Hellions, and he made a lot of Banshees. I think the Banshees were quite unnecessary against a Zerg player. I think if you stick with the Hellion and the Thor, you would have had them out much quicker. And it looks like that expansion is starting to pay off. There's a large number of Roaches already built. 2 more Roaches just popped out, and those Banshees are attacking the spawning pool. I think that's quite useless and unnecessary. And he does have the Overseer now. That Overseer is out and will be able to completely shut down those Banshees when used in conjunction with that Queen. So I'm not sure what Gloomshroom is going to do right now. He has to actually do something immediately. Immediately, he needs to destroy something and make some kind of push. And I'm not sure what he can possibly do. He's going to go through those destructible rocks with his Thor Marine Hellion force, but I don't think he has enough to beat that number of Roaches. The pneumatized carapace is being researched by Abusive. He's also dropping the Nidus network, and he's already moved his Overlord in a good or decent position. If he builds it here, if he builds the Nidus tail here, Gloomshroom will be able to see it. So this is a bit of a gamble. Abusive does not know where Gloomshroom's forces are right now. Gloomshroom finally has the expansion down, but he does not have any SCVs on it. He's not building any SCVs from that expansion. I think that's a mistake. He does have 500 something resources. He's still pumping those tanks, but he is not making any SCVs. And now that Nidus Worm has popped up, and too late did Gloomshroom notice, and not going to be able to make it back. Terran forces are not extremely good against massive surge of roaches up close like that, especially with that number of roaches. Those SCVs had to run away. You didn't want to suffer the losses. But 2 Thors normally do good damage against roach, but that's just way too many roaches. Those 2 Thors are going to get taken out. And those Vanities, yes, that's pretty good damage as well, but there's just way too many roaches tanking the damage and doing quite a lot of damage back, hurting not only the military force of Gloomshroom, but also destroying a large part of that economy. That last tank got destroyed by those roaches, even though they were massive carried by SCVs. Now looks like those roaches are going to try to wipe out as many SCVs as possible. I'm not sure if Gloomshroom can do anything at this point, other than to run and hide until those Banshees can do their job. And it looks like Abusive is going to move over here and try to drop another Nidus tail. I think that's a good move, but I think what a better move would be, because he knows that that his opponent has no military force. I think a better move would just to be attacking from the front, or maybe bust down these rocks and attack straight up. Does Abusive have the forces that he needs? He's got a good number of roaches. He could attack right away. He's building 18 more lings, 7 more hydras, and 1 more roach. I think what he should do is he should drop all these roaches out and just attack from the front. Instead of building that Nidus tail. That was a bit of a gamble again, but I think at this point it really doesn't matter. Abusive really has this game. That expansion is now barely being put to use by Gloomshroom, who now has 1,000 minerals. That's not very many forces. Even if you could translate all of those minerals into military force right now, it would not be enough. Canceling that add-on right there. He's building a large number of barracks. I'm not sure what exactly he plans on pumping. He's not making any units whatsoever. He did build tech labs, and I don't know why. He's not researching from them. So this looks like a whole lot of tail. Another Nidus tail being dropped by Abusive. Excuse me, I burped. He's going to build a supply depot back here in order to give him some vision, just in case, or perhaps to block the building of additional Nidus tails. But really, his main is out of minerals. And it looks like Abusive is finally saying, hey, you know what, screw it, it's not going to work. I'm going to go through the rocks. And the moment he busts through those rocks, he's got a dozen roaches, he's got 24 zerglings, he's got almost a dozen hydras. The moment he busts through those rocks, the game is going to be over. And very good on Abusive for spreading that creep, for putting those cancer tumors down. He's spreading that creep with those overlords. It's nice micro, very good strategy. He needs to move out those forces right away though, because putting down that creep is quite pointless if he's not even going to move those units in time. And now he's got to surround on the small number of marines that came out. That tank just rallied out. It's been destroyed. They took out the attack ability on Rally, and Gloomshroom has left the game. I think that was a pretty good game, but I think Gloomshroom started getting really flustered at the end and wasn't sure what he could do. But Abusive, he played well, and I might put this on YouTube, and if I do, he's going to see it, and he is going to start stroking his EP. Hope you enjoyed this game. I cannot promise that I will make more of these, but I'll try. Thanks for watching.